We are online now. Jazakumullah. Mute yourself, sisters, mute yourself. I'm just the delay was Ikhwani, that there was a case of a sister. She just embraced Islam. She's English. Allahu Akbar. That was like the reason why we are a bit late. Otherwise, we would have been on time. It's 9 or 7:10. 7:10. 10:07. Next 2 weeks, inshallah, is going to be a bit early. 7 o'clock will be starting. Is that all right, everybody? 7 o'clock, inshallah. Right. So, without any further delay, we will go ahead with the brother taking the class and everything.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. Today is the 23rd of Rabi' al-Awwal, which coincides with the 26th of September 2024, and today is lesson number 15. We'll be continuing from page 95. The lesson is Sifat Salat An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, a book by Muhammad Nasruddin Albani rahmatullah alayhi, led by Sheikh Abu Suhayb hafidhahullah.
Okay, you need to start from the beginning of the title. You understand me?
Yes.
Yes, give the title.
Okay, so the class today is the book by Muhammad Nasruddin Albani rahmatullah alayhi. The class is Sifat Salat An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the characteristics of the Prophet's prayer.
You didn't understand what I just said. I said start from the beginning of the title instead of the...
Oh, that, okay, sorry. The beginning of the title, reciting the Quran slowly and beautifying one's voice when reciting.
Yeah.
He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as Allah had instructed him, recite the Quran slowly, neither too slow nor too fast, but rather reciting in a manner that each letter would be distinguished. So he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to recite the surah in a clear, slow and distinct fashion that made the time needed to recite it longer than would seem possible. He also used to sallallahu alayhi wa sallam say, "It shall be said to the companion of the Quran on the day of judgment, upon entering paradise, recite and ascend, and recite slowly as you used to do in the worldly life, for your place will be the last ayah that you recite." He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to prolong the long vowels. Hence he used to prolong the end of Bismillah, then prolong the end of 2 words, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim and Nadeed and the like. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to pause at the end of each ayah as stated previously.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa wala. As you have just heard, we have already covered this. This is the last thing that we covered. We're going to start now after this sentence, inshallah, a new paragraph. But just to make sure that you are following up with this. This is where the Prophet ﷺ, he had been commanded by the Almighty Azza wa Jal to make tartil. Tartil is only for the Quran. There is no such thing that you will read any other book, even the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, in a tartil way. Tartil is to give each letter haqqahu wa mustahaqqa. Haqqahu means the letter in terms of sifat, in terms of how articulation point, makharij al-huruf. Okay, so the ha comes like from the end of the throat. So ha. So and also mustahaqqa. That means when this letter is in the word and it is close from a letter, another one, it will have a different as well way of pronunciation. So the noon, if it's followed by a ya, becomes an idgham. Okay. So there's idgham halqi, idgham lafzi, there is also ikhfa shafawi, ikhfa haqiqi, all of those called mustahaq. So this is called tartil. So for me, for example, to recite, let's say this book, to say وَكَانَ صَلَّى اللَّهُ كَمَا, this is not correct. This would be a bid'ah, to recite any other book other than the book of Allah with the word tartil. Tartil, as I said, is only for the Quran. Okay, to give ikhfa shafawi. If she said to somebody, "Irkam ma'ana," he will say, "What are you talking about?" It's a verse Quran. If I said "Irkam ma'ana," that's understandable. Okay, so the ba into beam is called iqlab, and then meen into the meen irkab ma'ana. So it's irkam ma'ana. But we don't say that in the normal way. You say irkam ma'ana or irkam ma'ana. But you don't say irkam ma'ana. He will say there's something wrong with the guy. So the Quran tartil is only for the Quran. Now, Prophet ﷺ used to make the The mad. Mad يا إخواني means prolonging. Prolonging here is in the letters of mad. A, U, E. Those are the three letters of mad. And they are mad. It's mad منفصل, mad متصل, mad عارض السكون, mad بدل. All of these types of mad, depending upon where is the letter of mad. Here he said, give an example. Bismillah. Where is the mad? Anybody tell me? Where is the mad here? Huh? It's mad in the ba. That is an A, U, E. Where is the mad?
At the end.
Which is?
Bismillah.
So the alif of the, between the lam and the alif. Bismillah. So la. That's the mad. Okay. Second one he said Ar-Rahman. What is the mad? Ar-Rahman. So when I stop at Bismillah, it's called mad عارض للسكون. Meaning that because it's going to be a stop at the end of that word, so the letter of mad, which is second to last, can be prolonged 2, 4, or 6. What is 2, 4, and 6? They call them, for example, 2, 4, and 6 harakat. What is harakat? You count by the finger? No, it's actually like repetition of a letter. So 6 harakat, looks like you pronounce the letter 6 times. That's what it is. So Bismillah, the 6 counts, you call it. Or Bismillah 4, Bismillah 2. Okay, that's called mad al sukun. I could do all of that. Which one of them? I could do it. But of course, there are etiquettes of recitation that when you stick to one, you do the other ones the same one. They don't really differentiate or make a split between the letters of man. Also, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahman. By the way, if I did not stop on the word, I cannot make that mad except for the 2 counts. So when I say Bismillahir-Rahman to the end, if I said Bismillahir-Rahman, I can't prolong the alif of the ha. I can't say Bismillahir-Rahman. It doesn't work. It has to be stoppage. Same thing with Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, for example. So here Ar-Rahman is stopped. But if I said Ar-Rahman wa-Allama, I can't make the mad more than the 2 counts. Also, Nadir, 2 to 4 to 6, depending upon. Also, he says he used to stop at the end of the ayat. So an ayat finishes, he will stop. So he will say, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. So why did I choose this? Because most of the people, they link it together. They think it's not allowed. So, فَوَيْلٌ, but it's not allowed, is to make فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ and make ruku' and leave الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ after the what? After the ruku'. After the second rak'ah. Then you made a very big, could say, huge confusion of the meaning. Because you see, woe to the ones who pray, and you make a ruku'. So the person says, woe to the one who prays. The one who prays God, woe. That means Allah is telling them off. But Allah already said, الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. The ones who are, the ones who are making not the prayer continuously. They're praying one prayer, they're not praying the other prayer. Right. So this is as well called the mad of عرض السكون. فضل.
Sometimes he sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to recite in a vibrating tone, as he did on the day of conquest of Mecca when, while he was mounting his camel, reciting Al-Fath slowly or softly. Abdullah bin Mughaffal radiallahu anhu said that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to quaver his voice by repeating the letter A like this.
Okay, right, so it's which is he doesn't say that, he doesn't say that, because this is what has been written. You don't read it, it's equivalent to what? Plus A. Okay? And what is here is called يرجع صوته. الترجيع إخواني. This is أصله, the word is ترديد. And this is natural comes. A person is coming natural. Ar-Rahman. Have you heard one of the reciters? He's a Kurdish one. The Kurdish one. He doesn't, subhanAllah, it's he's built by Allah Azza wa Jal, created in his tone that he makes this vibration comes by itself, naturally. Ra'd, it's the Ra'd. Ra'd, what's the name? Ra'd al-Kurdi. Ra'd al-Kurdi. He's Kurdish. Yeah. Very, mashallah, so it's coming by itself. He's not making like sort of exerting an effort. No, it comes by Allah, it comes in tardeed. Subhanallah. Right. Also,
He sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to order people to beautify their voices when reciting the Quran, saying, "Adorn the Quran with your voices, for a fine voice increases the beauty of Quran. And indeed, the one who has one of the finest voices among the people for reciting the Quran is the one whom you think fears Allah when you hear him recite."
Right, here he says, وَزَيِّنُوا الْقُرْآنَ بِأَصْوَاتِكُمْ. Beautify the Quran with your voices. There is a hadith which is not authentic. زَيِّنُوا أَصْوَاتَكُمْ بِالْقُرْآن. The opposite. Beautify your voices by the usage of Quran. No. It's beautify the Quran with your voices. Okay? It's not beautify your voices with the Quran. So it's not authentic. The authentic is beautify the Quran by reciting. Because when you recite it in a melody, with tartil, makes it more close to the person to have khushu', to listen. And also he said the Prophet ﷺ is the best of you, is the one that if you heard him, you will think that there is khushu' into it. There is some sort of scrupulence. The person is fearing Allah Azza wa Jalla. Not a person who's putting an act, but you'll find this person, it's nothing to do as well with making a melody which is outside the frame which is approved. What I'm saying is some of the melodies are to synchronize with a song which is well known to everybody. It's not allowed. Or we call it in Arabic الألحان. السلم الموسيقي. You know, Dara, Fosa, Soli, man, the people. So instead of learning the Quran, he will start learning what? Al-Iqa'at, Iqa'. Huh? So he will learn these things. I don't know what they call them in English. Starts especially. So he will learn first how to make the sounds, and then he'll go to the Quran. That's not allowed. Huh? What do you call
The
it?
tone. The tone and the melodies.
Melodies, yeah. All right. So they call it, for example, أعطيني مقام كذا كذا، أعطيني مقام كذا، قراءة عن المقامات. That is not allowed. So you get maqam, nahawand, maqam, especially in the maqamat, they read upon them. That's not allowed. That's a bid'ah. Bid'ah al-asl, as Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, he said. But it becomes natural, your natural voice, nice. But not to make sure that you're going to come on to this naghama. So you make an effort. You are focused upon khushu'. Make it the sound of yours to penetrate the hearts. Some of the voices penetrate the hearts. As soon as you hear them, your heart moves with them. Some of them, even it's nice voice, but nothing moves from you. Nothing. Even it's so beautiful voice, but there's nothing moving there. It's not going to the heart. There's something wrong there. So the best of the people, if you listen to his recitation, you are in such a khushu'. Not in such a, like this, it's called tarab. Tarab is different. Tarab is like you are like listening to a music, music, but nothing going to the heart. Some people, oh, I like this, but there's nothing going to the heart. That's the khushu'.
He sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to order people to recite the Quran with a pleasant tone, hence saying, study the book of Allah, maintain learning it, acquire or memorize it, and recite it with a good voice. For by the one in whose hand is my soul, it runs away from the heart quicker than camels attempting to escape from their reins.
Right. So here, the Prophet ﷺ not just ordered us to make sure that we use the melody when we recite the Quran, but also he said, ta'allam, learn the Quran. وَتَعَاهَدُوا. What is ta'ahadu? It's making sure that you are all the time attached to the Quran. Not to tahjuru. So if you have recited the Quran and you have memorized, and you start to forget your memorization because of your negligence, your punishment is severe on the day of resurrection. You're going to be having yourself into a situation where there is an angel, he's breaking your head. Okay? And the stone will roll and you're coming back and break your head again. This is the person who learned the Quran and he forgot it. Some people boast about this. He said, Wallahi, I was half of Quran, but not anymore. It's like he's boasting about it. He said something, because he also said, I was half of Quran, I forgot it. Shame on you say this. You should have said the other way. I was not half of Quran, but alhamdulillah, I'm half of now. But not to boast of it. I was half of Quran, but I forgot it. Your punishment is severe. Also, the Prophet said that it is very easy to lose the Quran's memorization as fast as a camel which is in being tied up, and then it needs to go to leave. Is that, I'm going to translate that last part?
It runs away from the heart quicker than camels attempting to escape from their reins.
From reins. If you are a Bedouin man, you know that. The camels want to try to escape, okay, from their reins, which is the one that's attached to them, okay? So they want to just get away from it. So if you know that, then you will know that this Quran, I need to make sure it's being tied up properly. How do I tie up the Quran properly? At-ta'ahud. That is every second, every moment, and at least a day, something like to hear the Quran, listen to the memorization, you go to the car. To keep up with this, our Sheikh Albani rahimahullah used to say that because of this hadith, he used to repair watches to make a living for him. And at the same time, he used to go to the library of Al-Maktab al-Zahiriyya in Damascus. He used to go from the morning after Fajr all the way 6, 7, 8 hours. And he goes to make some sort of repair for his living. And then he said, I used to have a Quran, a Mus'haf, on top of the, what do you call that, in a shop, a platform, what do you call that?
Counter.
Counter, yes, on the counter, that's right. On the counter. He puts it there, and every time he's got no customers, he pulls it, and he starts reading. Why? Because of this hadith. Because he said, وَتَعَهَدُوا. Keep up with it all the time. So this is a command. قَالُوا تَعَهَدُوا وَاقْتَنُوهُ. Have it with you all the time, because if you memorize something, keep. The memorization, ikhwani, is like a muscle. If you leave your muscle like this, it's going to be soft and rubbish. So you need to want to train it. Your memory is something like seven. You have to train the muscle. How can I train the muscle of my memory? By repeating, by saying it again and again. So for example, every Fajr, finish the Fajr prayer, after the Fajr, you could start reciting whatever you have until sunrise. Whatever you have from the Quran, inshallah it will make it stronger in your memorization. Fadal.
He sallallahu alayhi wasallam also said, He is not from us who does not recite the Quran in a beautiful voice. And Allah does not listen to anything as He listens, and in brackets in some versions as He is listening, to a prophet with a nice voice, and in one version with a nice melody, who recites the Quran in a pleasant voice or tone in a loud manner.
Good. Stop here. Do you have a footnote, please, regarding the hadith we just said, which is not authentic, that is beautify your voices with the Quran? Do you have something like this?
Yes.
Yes. There's like a note there for the Sheikh Albani. Says, انقلب الحديث الأول على بعض الرواة. That the hadith, it has been given the wrong way by some of the narrators.
Is it for the hadith before? The
Yes, before. زينوا القرآن بأصواتكم. What do you read here? What is you reading here?
Is it said the Book of Allah, maintain learning it, acquire, memorize, and recite in a good voice, for by one whose hand is in my
No, there's one before that. Maybe here, have you got it? What do you have, something here?
This is for vibrating the voice.
Might be
Oh,
170.
This
Might
one.
be 170. No, 170.
I think it's
the long one.
Yeah, the long one. Read
The
one.
long one. Okay. Abu Dawood Hakim, who declared Sahih and
Can you just close the microphone, please? My wife is listening. Allah barak you.
Abu Dawood Hakim, who declared Sahih, and Al-Dhahabi agreed with him. Ibn al-Athir stated that the aforementioned hadith was
Okay, so
found.
this is another one. So you haven't got it. You haven't got it.
Okay.
So this is the hadith I'm talking about. زينوا القرآن بأصواتكم. Beautify the Quran with your voices. For verily, the nice voice makes the Quran more beautiful. That's the hadith I'm talking about. So there is something, there is no notes about it.
So this is a Sahih hadith transmitted by Ibn Mubarak in Az-Zuhd, and nothing but being not Sahih.
Yeah, but there's before it. You see, it's the one before it.
Okay. Bukhari in Abu Dawood.
But there is no note for that? Okay.
Two-
قلب الحديث. No, the translation is not really like the Osama. انقلب الحديث الأول. Hadith which is not being done correctly by the narrators. It's been said, زينوا أصواتكم بالقرآن, and that's not authentic, and it is خطأ. خطأ means wrong. And he who had made it authentic, he has been drowning in being mistaken for this. So this hadith is being mentioned by some of the scholars, that is beautify your voices with the Quran. It's not correct. It is beautify the Quran with your voices. Then we have now the long note, which is regarding the hadith, لَيْسَ مِنَّا مَنْ لَمْ يَتَغَنَّ بِالْقُرْآنِ, is not from us who recites the Quran in a melody. So please read that note. Jazakallah khairan.
Abu Dawood Hakim, who declared Sahih, and Dhahabi agreed with him. Ibn al-Athir stated that the aforementioned hadith, which is found in Abu Dawood, to be from the narration of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. However, my brother Abdul Qadir An-Naud And those who helped him commented.
Okay, this I don't need it. Okay, I don't need it. Right. He's talking about the authenticity of that hadith. Right, those also he says, مَا أَذِنَ اللَّهُ لِشَيْءٍ. Allah did not give adin. That means did not, adin means from the udhun. He did not hear to any words from the people, from the words of the people, as much as he had heard or was listening to the recite of the Quran when he recites. That means with a nice melody. مَا أَذِنَ اللَّهُ لِشَيْءٍ. Allah did not hear. He didn't permit. مَا أَذِنَ أو كأذنه لنبي حسن الصوت, to a prophet who's nice, got nice voice. حسن الترنم, and this, by the way, حسن الترنم is Sheikh Albani's ضعيفة. He made it unauthentic, not authentic. 6640 if you want that. This is the new book of Sheikh Albani ضعيفة. He had made just that little words there. يتغنى بالقرآن, and he's beautifying the Quran and he's making it loud. So here Allah Azza wa Jal, he is more to listen to a prophet who is reciting the Quran, beautifying the Quran with his voice, with a melody. And we think about Prophet Dawood alayhi salam, whom the birds, mountains used to sing along with him when he recites Az-Zabur, we call it the Psalms. Right, let's coming back now to Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. He's one of the reciters whom used to have a very special melody. Fadl.
He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu, if you could only see me, how much enjoyment I had while I was listening to your recitation yesterday. Indeed, you have been endowed with a flute from the flutes of the family of Prophet Dawood alayhi salam. In response, Abu Musa said, if I knew you were listening, I would have made my recitation sound more beautiful and emotional for you.
Now, so here, Abu Musa, he said, if I knew that you were listening, I would have made it even more beautiful. It doesn't mean he wants to show off. So you have to understand that. It's not meaning he wants to show off. Showing off, Ikhwani, is that he wants to beautify the recitation for the sake of that the people are looking at him, so Allah gives them more. The people looking at him. No. He wants to honor the Prophet. You know, you've got your own recitation, and when somebody is listening, you want to give the best. It's not you want to show off. You want to give the best, especially when ask the Imam. When the Imam recites on his own, it's not as good as when he recites in front of the people. That's not called showing off. This is giving his best. It's full, the sixth gear. Okay? It's I mean the sixth gear. You don't mean second gear, third gear. Full, mashallah, full speed. With the best voice. That's what he said. I've heard, this is my own recitation, Messenger of Allah. You were listening, I would have been really beautiful recitation. طيب, تفضل.
Correcting the Imam in prayer. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam prescribed for those who pray behind the Imam to correct him if he makes mistakes in recitation, and to remind him if he forgets what to recite. This is based on the report that while he was praying on one occasion, he became hesitant in his recitation. So he said to Ubay ibn Ka'b, did you pray with us? He said, yes, I did. The Prophet ﷺ said, what stopped you from correcting or reminding me?
Right. So here we find that the Fath al-Imam, there's a feedback when we have two microphones on. The Prophet ﷺ is telling us with this hadith or incident that took place where the Prophet himself made a mistake. But that was from the Sharia, that he made a mistake, not deliberately. He made a mistake, he was a human being. And Ubay ibn Ka'b is being asked, even though there are others like Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, was asked Ubay because Ubay, rahimahullah, or radiyallahu anhu, he is one of the four reciters, and he's the number one. When the Prophet ﷺ, he said, take the Quran from him. So at our time, I think I remember last time, 2 weeks ago, when I said to you, in our era here, it was Had al-Husari, rahimahullah, Sheikh Albani even praised. Sheikh Albani sallallahu al-Minshawi. He used to love him. Sheikh Rahmatullah. So those are reciters that when they recite, they give each letter what it deserves. Ubay, same thing. Ubay was Hafiz. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he made a mistake, when he finished the prayer, he said to Ubay, will you pray with us? He said, yes, Messenger of Allah. And we know that the Prophet he sees it from behind. So he's asking, it's like saying that you weren't behind me, I'm just asking, were you behind me? I mean, I shouldn't ask you the question, you should have corrected me. مَا مَنَعَكَ أَن تَفْتَحَ. What prevented you from correcting me? What prevented you? Well, there are lots of Wise. Why? Because he didn't learn this. Number two, he thought maybe the Quran has as well a new revelation. It's a new verse now. It's a new surah now. You change the words. There are lots of things. But the Prophet said this as well to teach us. When you make fath, fath means to open. To open, it means to open the way for the reciter to go ahead with his recitation correctly. That's what we call fath. And Fathu al-Imam. So the Fathu al-Imam has also etiquettes. We need to learn them. And Fathu al-Imam, it has to be in the following manner. Number one, that when you make Fath with the Imam, you are in a position where there is sort of we could say a good, we could say not really far distance between you and the Imam. So the Imam will not be able to hear. So you have to have a good judgment that the Imam will be able to hear. Number one. Number two, that you are not being appointed to correct. So there's somebody being appointed to correct behind the Imam, and you coming from nowhere to correct, then there will be two corrections, and then the Imam will not be able to have fath. You'll have ighlaq, the opposite. Fath means open the way, you are closing the way. Which one to listen to? Thirdly, when you make the fath, you make the fath in a way making it easy to the Imam by saying the verse from the beginning. Unless it's a long verse. He's in the middle of the surah in Ayat al-Dayn, which is in Surah Al-Baqarah. You can't refer him to the beginning, but at least from let's say a stoppage in the ayah, so you could start. So you don't give him just a word. So a person is reciting, for example, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. He said, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ رَيْبَ فِيهِ. You don't say, La. La. Where's the La coming from? You have to say, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. You don't say, La, which is the mistake that he missed. Do you understand what I'm saying? You say, La. What is this La? And the Imam says, where is this coming from? Make it easy for him. You could say even Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Repeat the whole thing. He will be relaxed now. And he will go ahead and repeat. But don't just give him a word and then he's scared. Where is it coming from? It's like throwing a bomb to the Imam. That's what happens. And number three. Number four, that if somehow that the Imam did not catch that mistake, let him go. If he did not catch that mistake, what are you going to be? Bring in a lash and whip him? What is? No, let him. If he can't do it, let him. Number five, let's say that the Imam had made the mistake in the first rak'ah, but before the ruku', and he just made ruku'. Already. He's in ruku'. What is the point of you correcting him? You're going to lift from the ruku' and correct him and go back. Yeah, that's why we say the people who are behind the Imam should be people, not just have them. People got common sense. They don't got common sense. How are you going to correct him? He's going to go down now. He's going to go up for you, and then, yes, correct the verse and go back again. No. But in the second rak'ah, you could tell him the verse from the beginning, to repeat it, the one that he did wrong in the first rak'ah. That's a good thing, yes. If it's the second rak'ah, khalas. Then you tell him after that, you have made a mistake. Khwani, if you want to see somebody who is a good example for a bad person who's making fath, then go to YouTube and make the following, which is the person who has been correcting an Imam, fath to be ashri surah. That person, he did not let the Imam, there was a mutashabih Quran, this ayah has been repeated twice in two different places, and he keeps correcting him to the one that he thinks is correct, but it's not. And the Imam is very good hafiz. He did not hesitate. He made the correction, and he's too far. You could see him shouting. So the Imam is going back and he's reciting exactly what he was reciting at the beginning, which is correct. And that person is wrong. He's doing it different verb. So he did again. The Imam did the same thing. Third time. So what he did the same thing, and he made ruku', the Imam. And this person is not letting go even in ruku'. He's been told off by this Imam. I know there's a story. He's been told not to come to the masjid at all. Have you seen it? Have you heard of it?
No.
You need to see. You need to see. So you could just see what I'm talking about. So listen to this now. Yeah. It's a good example for you to learn. This is not fath. that. Ya Allah. You have to see shayateen here in front of you. Ahmed has got it for me. Yes. Okay. Sorry, but that's the original one. Now, listen. Now listen to me. This is another thing that we need to the etiquette. When the Imam makes a mistake in the verse, let him finish the verse. Unless the verse is too long. Let him finish the verse. Then make the what? The fact in the time when he's quiet. Not over his voice. So this person, he just jumped on him like a cheetah wants to go on his prey. Or a lion wants to kill somebody. He didn't give him a second. No. Like this. So that's a bad example. Look. So different verse is correct in the word. Must be a genie. Still shouting. Listen. You have to go back. Come back now, he reverse. Make it ruku. Believe it or not, in the second rak'ah, he doesn't make him stop. That's why he's being kicked out. Correctly. Should not come into the masjid. So he's coming now, the second rak'ah. How did this person Majnoon. That's the second section, isn't it? It's going to go up now. Start the Fatiha now. After the Fatiha, look at the video. Listen. He's not letting go. Put him in prison, this person.
The one who's correcting is obviously not half it, is he?
No, he's half mixed up with that. خلاص. Allah musta'an. such a person really disciplined. Allah understand. So this is not called Fatih. So I give you some etiquettes for the Fatih. When you make Fatih, as I said, wait for the Imam until he's quiet, make him to finish. Not while he's talking, you give him something he doesn't know what is happening. That's why we tell the brothers, please do not cough behind the Imam. Digestive cough. Because the cough, Imam think is what? He corrects the recitation. So please, do not cough. If you've got some problem, go away from the Imam. Either the Imam is going to be confused if he's got some wrong recitation, or maybe it's a message from this guy telling him, come on, finish it up quickly, took you too long. Especially he says, what's this? Fear Allah. Recitation of the Quran. The Imam is not at your click whenever he wants you, ruku', sujood, whatever you want. Some people, they don't fear Allah. And you could see that whenever it's ruku', there is no, it's only the during the recitation. Why? Why is that? There's something wrong with it. Allah understand. Right, let's go to following. What time is that, Sheikh?
8:25. 20 minutes.
It's very fast. Yeah.
Seeking refuge and spitting lightly during prayer in order to ward off al-waswas, insinuating whispers from the shaitan. Uthman bin Abu al-As came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, O Messenger of Allah, the shaitan is distracting me while praying and making me confused in my recitation. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, this is a devil called Khinzab.
Khinzab. Don't change his name.
If you feel his presence, then seek refuge with Allah from him and spit lightly to your left 3 times. Uthman said, I did that and Allah made it all go away from me.
Right. So here we have a special category of shaitan, naming Khinzab. Just he's designated for the what? For the prayer. To come for the person, for the prayer, so he makes it to think that he did not recite the Fatiha, did not make the ruku', did not make the correct rak'at, he made the 3 for instead of 2. You know, instead of the qira'ah, he does not make qira'ah. He make it all the time busy. So he said, if you have had this whispering, then seek refuge in him. How do I seek refuge in Allah from him? I would say, أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفثه. Or أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفثه. That's the isti'adah. So استعذ بالله من الشيطان. Number 2, he says, وَاتْفُلْ عَلَى يَسَارِكَ. And that is tafl. Tafl here is the word which is in Arabic, which is, it's not buzaq. Buzaq. Yeah. So that's tafl. Because you don't understand, because here it's spit. You don't understand what is spit. Spit means spit. Number 3, it says ala yasarik. 3 times. What is ala yasarik here? Wallahi, I was in one of the salawat in Brixton, not Brixton, sorry. Was it Brixton? I can't remember. Could be Brixton, could be another masjid. Maybe Masjid Highwick. But I know this person who thinks he could understand the deen without the help of those who are teachers linked to the scholars. He could teach them what is, because he just reads. And he always deems such and such student knowledge is a bad person. He's not, you know, he's got, we call him from the ghula, the extremists. They're doing very, very bad things to the Da'wah Salafi. So he's arrogant. He doesn't sit for the classes and all that. And I have seen this person. Then I told him off, I said, if you come to the classes and learn, instead of just reading books, you don't know what the book's talking about. So he was in the first row and I was in the 3rd row. And he's tall. So in the prayer, he's in the middle of the row. He was doing like this. With that person next to him. Wallahi. By Allah, he said this. This person is not crazy. He's not even come from the hospital. It's because he reads. You see, if you don't really take, I took this from our Sheikh. I learned it. I didn't understand each word. What is it? How? So I don't know. He said, like this. That's by yourself. Look, how much I turn. 1 centimeter. Nobody noticed me. Like this. Not. So you're going to be shaitan for the other person. There's the person that spit with his left as well. The whole row will be spitting now. Because they don't sit, they don't learn. I have to sit with the Sheikh and learn from him. Nobody can notice it. That's my left. So this is my front, my left here, my right is here. It doesn't have to be right, because you see that's how Allah has been talked about. السارق والسارقة فاقطعوا أيديهم. The male and female thieves cut their hands. Allah did not leave us like this, cut their hands without interpretation of the hand. Because from here up to here is called a hand. Where are you going to cut? Here, to cut here is a hand. Cut here is a hand. Cut here is a hand. Cut from here is a hand. So what are you going to do? You have to have the implementation of this verse. How? From the Prophet. The Prophet ﷺ did not even tell us where from. But he told whom? The companions. The companions told us how. The time of Umar, when the person has been stole something, the implementation was from the here. The wrist. Here. The wrist. This one. Okay? That's the cutting. So it's not from there. It's not from here. But all of it's a hand. And I said here as well, the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, if you don't have the interpretation of those scholars, you're going to get like that man who's spitting on his left. And I don't know if does he do the same thing if his wife next to him. He's going to be in trouble as well. But alhamdulillah, we are doing very well, mashallah.
Section 6, the bowing of ruku'. After completing his recitation, the Prophet ﷺ used to pause after finishing the recitation of Quran, then raise his hands according to the ways explained in the section of opening takbir, then say takbir and make ruku'.
Can I just ask you, what is according to what has been explained before? What is that? Read it again so that people can understand it. And he used to raise up his hand.
Raise his hands according to the ways explained in the section of opening takbir, then say takbir and
So
make
how
ruku'.
is that the way? And Fadal, is that the one that he's talking about? And because it's been explained before, he says, ثم رفع يديه على الوجوه. Wujuh means the number of ways he had done in the first takbir, which we explained. Wujuh, it's not only one, more than one. What is it? Anybody explain to me? Yes?
The one up to the earlobes.
Okay,
And then
that's wajhan. We had lots of this too, but this too. Can anybody from the online can tell us, mashallah, good number and all that. Anybody on the online would like to tell us what is على الوجوه المتقدمة, including Ahmed? Do you know the answer? وكان ثم رفع يديه على الوجوه المتقدمة. تكبيرة الإحرام, how did we explain it? We said here it's nothing to do with the just رفع يديه, talking about earlobe and the shoulder, the middle finger, here or here. So this one, this is the maximum, where this can go the top of your ear, and this will be your earlobe, or this will go to your shoulder, and this one will go to your earlobe. This, but not this one I'm talking about. He said he would say takbir. That means Allahu Akbar together, or Allahu Akbar, and he would raise, or he would raise and then we say Allah. How many ways? 3 ways. Again, Allahu Akbar. So he made the takbir and then he raised, or Allahu Akbar. He had raised, then he made takbir, or Allahu Akbar. Then he had. And by the way, it's not like this. So if I'm doing the takbir al-ihram, it's different from takbir. The takbir al-ruku', yes, you say Allahu Akbar and you go down. But takbir al-ihram, you don't see that Allahu Akbar. That's not correct. We said that, and I've seen some of the imams, they do it, and I tell them, I'm like, watch, is a bad habit. You say Allahu Akbar. You seen them or not? Correct or not? I've seen them, I'm just doing it now. Allahu Akbar. No way. Allahu Akbar. That's it. From this to this. Don't go down to this. On the ruku', so Allahu Akbar. You're going to go ruku', so you could say it, and while you're going down. So it's not you say Allahu Akbar, so Allahu Akbar. Your hand's going to go to your knees now. Allahu Akbar. Right. Now, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he was being narrated from him that he does not do any rafa', which is the Ahnaf uses. Did not use the rafa' except in takbir al-ihram. He would not raise up his hand you what for the takbirat al-ruku'. Nothing, even rafa' min al-ruku', even before, after the third rak'ah. Allah ibn Mas'ud, he does not, or he did not raise up his hand except the first time, which is takbirat al-ihram. And this is, you could say it is strange from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud that to have this sunnah of raising up the hands on ruku' and lifting up from the ruku' and after the second rak'ah to the third rak'ah, and he was from the first predecessors. He's not just a normal companion, he's from the people who embraced Islam in Mecca, from the immigrants, Wajirun. But you will be wondering that it's not the first thing that Imam Abdullah ibn Mas'ud had actually missed from the Sunnah al-Amaliyya. Sunnah al-Amaliyya means the action Sunnah. It's called action Sunnah. So it's not just the first one. So we find that, for example, in the ruku' as well, he will not put his hands onto his knees, which is a sunnah, but he will make a tatbiq. You know what's a tatbiq? A tatbiq means you're putting your hands between your legs, like that, yes, between, that's the one. Tatbiq, between your legs, onto your knees, but facing like this way. Okay, tatbiq. He used to say that, to use that, and that is actually against the sunnah that will be narrated from the Prophet. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu wa ardah, even he didn't know about the, there was even Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu didn't know about the tayammum. Okay, so there are things some of the companions didn't know about. So not to say that I'm going to follow this companion on his own. No, if he's different from the Prophet or different from the rest of the companions, then his way will be wrong. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, whenever he used to make wudu, he used to put water in his eyes. Are we going to be putting our eyes and our water in our eyes when we make wudu? We leave it to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, because he's not going along with what the companion, the other ones used to do. But then he used to say, Fadl.
He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ordered the man who prayed badly, saying to him, the prayer of any of you is incomplete unless he performs perfect ablution as Allah commanded him to do. Then he should say takbir, praise him and glorify him, and then recite whatever is made easy for him to recite from that which Allah has taught him and permitted. Then he should say takbir and make ruku' and place his hands on his knees while bowing until his joints settle in their places and relax.
We're going to come to the description of ruku' in a minute, but let me just tell you something, that the rafa' al-yadayn, raising up the hands for the ruku' is mutawatir. Also, rafa' al-yadayn after we say Rabbana wa lakal hamd is mutawatir. Mutawatir means like beyond any doubt that it is authentic. Okay, it's mutawatir. Abu Hanifa rahimahullah did not have, except for the athar of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, which is there is no rafa' al-yadayn except the takbir al-ihram. But there was athar came after him. He didn't know. Didn't have that narration. If he had, so I'm more Hanafi than the Ahnaf. Abu Hanifa was alive, he would be adopting this. There would be rafa' al-yadayn takbir al-ihram. You know the Hanafis, they don't raise up their hands except in takbir al-ihram. You know that? No, in the name Hanafi Masjid, they will, as soon as they see doing this, the ruku', Wahhabi. Say, Wahhabi. They'll say Wahhabi. Say, what do you mean raise up your hands in the ruku'? Let's go on to the description of the ruku', ikhwan.
The description of al-ruku'. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would place his palms on his knees and ordered people to do likewise, and he ordered the man who prayed badly to do so too, as was mentioned previously. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to secure his knees with his hands as though grasping them, and would space his fingers out while they were on his knees.
Right, just up to here, this is making feedback. Up to here, let's just demonstrate what the Imam Sheikh Albani rahimahullah is giving us a hadith to make the ruku'. So I want somebody to demonstrate for us. Sheikh, stand up. Stand up, yeah, yourself, don't worry. Right, so I want him to demonstrate the ruku' up to here, what he did with his fingers on him. Okay, so look at that. He put in his hands, children, putting his hands. Can you make a proper ruku'? Because you don't make a lang ruku'. That's not proper ruku', by the way. I'm going to see this. Okay, right. Just look at the hands first of all. See the hands, those? They are like an eagle claw. You know the eagle claw? Catching his, like this, catching his knees like that. So that's the thing that he's talking about. He said, so it's not correct to put it like that on the knees. It has to be like what? Like this. Claw. So this is even more of a firm onto your knee. Okay? That's it. So he says, كان يقبض كان ويفرج بين أصابعه. تفضل.
He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam ordered the man who prayed badly, saying, when you make ruku', place your palms on your knees, then space your fingers out and remain in such a position until every limb settles in its place.
That means don't go quickly up. Settle. Fadl.
He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to spread and distance his elbows from his sides.
Did you understand where you're wrong? You did?
It's narrow.
You're doing like this. So can you do us the right thing? There's another thing that we're wrong, but I'm just one by one. Okay. Right. So put your hand. So you're going to make the ruku' funny like this. So that's the ruku'. The ruku'. First, these are here. Look, and my hands like this. So my elbows away from my body, not like that. Like this. That's the ruku'. Okay. See? Like this. Don't make like that. It's like this. So the bend. So this will go away from the body. Okay. Now I'm settled. Go on, read, please.
He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to spread his back and keep it straight while being in the posture of bowing, such that if water were poured on it, it would remain settled on it. He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also said to the man who prayed badly, when you make ruku', place your palms on your knees, spread your back straight and keep a secure grasp on your knees. And he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would neither let his head be lower than the level of his back, nor let it be higher than his back, but rather he would be in between.
Right. It says La yuqna' it. I'll show you what it is La yuqna'. Right, I would like you just to point this camera towards me so that the those who are online can see me as well. You know, you can see the screen, yes?
Yes.
Can you go back, yes? Yes? Leave the laptop, Sheikh Allah, you need just the camera.
Okay.
Just the camera. Right. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Yes? Is it following me? Is it following me? Yes?
Go a bit.
Go a bit down. Yeah. But don't move my laptop.
Okay.
Right, Ikhwan. So I'm going to make the ruku' in the way that he had said. Let me just take the jacket off so you can see as well the back. So that's the ruku'. Okay. This one you distract the camera here. So this is how, like this. This is the side away from my. Look at the back here. The back is to be straight. Now the Prophet ﷺ, you would not do like this. He would not do like that. And he would not do like this. Sorry for my hat. And he would not do like this. Some people do like this as well. So the neck and the back goes in parallel. Okay? So you are like, if you are person, if you to put water, means like put a glass. So once I said to this one brother, he was going to put water on the brother. Wallah, he almost did that. So it means like, if can you just put this on top of my back?
Don't open it.
Settling 100%.
He's got skills.
Settling 100%. If I did like this, hold it, it's going to drop now. I'm going to drop it here. If I did like this, you see, it's going to drop from the back. If I did like this, it's going to drop. You see, it has to be flat. Train yourself. Some people have seen them make a ruku' like this. That's not ruku'. What is this? It's a joke. Ruku' like that. Don't do like this. Don't do like this. Don't do like that. Don't do like this. Okay? And like, don't do like this. This is how to do it. Don't annoy your person. Don't do like this as well to annoy your brothers here when they pray. Now,
Should you look at where you're going to make sujood?
Sujood is we haven't really reached it yet. You jump into sujood, you're going to finish the prayer. It's a long way for the sujood. This is only for ruku'.
I mean, during the ruku', you look at where you're going to
Oh, I thought you were going to do this. Your eyes, Akhwani, hasn't been specified where to look, but you are natural. So there is no hadith tells you that, there's no hadith tells you that where to look, except where to look is that, except in when you are reciting the Quran and the Qiyam, so you are locked into the prostration place. And also when you are making your you locked up your place with your eyes on this. But in between the sajda, we don't have any. In the ruku', we don't have any. But this is natural. Whether you're looking between your legs or you're looking, look, for me, I look always down because it's comfortable for me. Because if I'm going like this, it's going to be comfortable for me to look like that or to look like this. Comfortable for me to make my eyes focus down, with 90 degrees. Yeah, like that. But if you look like this, well, my eyes are going to be hurt. Look like this, maybe. So I will do like that, natural. My eyes will be straight down. Okay? Remember, when you look down, it's not your prostration place. Because prostration place is a bit more in the front. The prostration spot is a bit front. So don't make a mark prostration, you have to follow it to where I'm heading. It's only when you are reciting the Fatiha, you are looking at the prostration because it's natural for you, like this, alhamdulillah, and you're not looking there and there to take your focus away from the prayer. Now,
The obligation of serenity in a ruku'.
what is that? Serenity? What does
Serenity.
serenity mean?
Like calmness, peaceful.
Yeah, tranquility, calmness, settlement. I don't know what's serenity here. Tuma'nina means here that the person does all of that we have said, and we makes it in within at least a proportion of a time that the person is not pecking. So it's not holding and releasing, holding and releasing, settling. Now, follow.
He sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to have a tranquil bowing posture, which is what he ordered the man who prayed badly to do so, as was mentioned previously. He sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to say, complete your ruku' and sujood, for by the one in whose hand is my soul, I can see you when you ruku' and sujood behind my back. He sallallahu alayhi wasallam saw a man praying but not completing his ruku' properly and pecking in his sujood. So he said, if the man dies upon this state, he will die upon a faith other than that of Muhammad. He pecks his prayer just like how a crow pecks at blood. The example of him who does not complete his bowing and pecks in his sujood is like a hungry person eating 1 or 2 dates. It does not do him any good at all.
Right, so here we find that the Prophet ﷺ said about a person who is not settling in his ruku'. So he said, if this person stays the same, then he's dying upon other than the way, the path of the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Does he mean a kafir here? Well, there's an interpretation for this. First of all, it means that if this person had, after listening to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's command to pray with tranquility, yet he insists on praying in this way, then definitely he is not listening to the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is the Prophet commanding him straight away. He's in front of him telling this, that he's not a Muslim. Or he is a person who had heard this but did not understand it, or he had heard this but not from other than the Prophet ﷺ. Then if he dies upon this, he dies upon other than the Sunnah of the Prophet. He's still a Muslim. But this person, the Prophet is telling him, this is wrong, your ruku' is not accepted, your prayer is not accepted, he's still insisting, definitely he's not a hypocrite, munafiq, not listening to the Prophet ﷺ. Abu Hurairah also?
Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, my close friend forbade me from pecking in my prayer like a rooster, from looking around like a fox, and from squatting like a monkey.
Right, so we've got here different animals. So the Prophet is telling us not to imitate any animal in the prayer. Any animal. Even the good animals. Such as the camel. The camel is a good animal. Prophet said, when you go to your sujood, place your hands before your knees and don't imitate the what? The camel. Camel is a good person. A good animal. And the Prophet said, مَثَلُ الْمُؤْمِنِ كَالْجَمَلِ الْأَنِفِ. The similarity of the believer is like the camel who is, he's like easygoing. Wherever the owner takes him, he will go. He will not, pull out. He will just go along with him. هذا مثل the believer. So there are animals which are no good. You don't want to be described with these animals, like a dog. Some people call you a dog. Even if you're in English, he loves dogs, but he doesn't like to be called a dog. Correct or not? They love the dogs, but they don't like to be labeled as a dog. Oh, don't call, why are you calling me a dog? Oh, I thought you love the dogs. I thought you adore the dogs, don't you? So why do you name yourself with a dog? No. Dog is an insultation. Correct or not? They, as well in cartoon, they put the pig, nice pinky and everything. If you call him a pig, don't call him a pig. You're pig, you love it, don't you? Subhanallah. So this is against your nature, fitra. Pig is no good, dog is no good, donkey is no good. Even you ride it is no good. But if I call you, for example, lion. Oh yes, I love that one. I'm a lion. Oh yes. lion. You love that, don't you? Yes? If I call you monkey, you don't like a monkey. What do you mean, jumping up and down for you, akhi? Okay. So the Prophet ﷺ told us not to imitate any single animal, good or bad. Because there are animals whom Allah put no good into them. Like the snake, like the rats, like the crow. The crow is a thief. Crow is a thief. Prophet ﷺ commanded us to kill it. The crows are thieves. Thief animals. They steal from the other animals, they steal, thieves. And they're harmful as well. And the rats, when people take their pets. Pet is a rat, subhanAllah. What happened to the fitrah? The instinct. So here he said, don't peck like the rooster, the cockerel. A deek, is that cockerel, he said? Rooster. Cockerel, maybe a better word is cockerel. Deek. You know, the deek? Deek is like, a deek, a cockerel is like part of the chicken. Like this. Don't do like this when you pray and make sujood. And another hadith, he said like the crow. The crow, the same thing. Then he says to turn like what? This fox.
Turn like a fox.
You ever seen the fox as it turns? The fox, we call him as sly as a fox. As sly, cheeky, something. So the fox wants to have something. He will not look directly because that prey will know that he is coming for him. So he will do like half a look. Same thing this person is playing. Look like this, like this, like that. It's a fox. See, he's turning. He's looking everywhere except for example, like that. Some people even laugh when you look at them. Allah al-Musta'an. Third one, he said, iqa' ka-iqa' al-qird. We want to do, what is this iqa'? Squatting like a monkey. Can you squat like a monkey, please? So tell us which is not allowed. Okay. Yeah. Not close to the one first, before. But put your buttocks onto the ground. Put your hands onto your knees. That's the monkey, don't you? Look at the monkey. Yes. So that's not allowed. That's one iqa'. So this iqa' is actually, can I just show it again to the camera? We got here, he's not a monkey, human being.
Demonstration.
But what is it going? What is yes. Yes. Put your hands on your knees. Yes. Or anything like this is iqa'. This is a monkey. Right, there's another type of iqa'. We want to demonstrate this with the brother here. Right. Because you are direct camera, so the camera. Oh, no, you're not in the direct position. No, you can't do it. It's too difficult. You can't do it. You could be a bear, but not a monkey. Crush him there. Right. Go to this way. Okay. Right. Now make the normal sitting between the two sajda. How do you sit between the two sajda? Correct. Now I want you now to space between your feet and stick your buttocks on the ground. That's called iqa' al-qird as well. So spacing between his feet and sticking the buttocks to what? To the ground. That's called what? Monkey and so the other one is a better monkey and you are
I'll take it.
Right. Alhamdulillah. Right. I think we've got the prayer, isn't it? Right. We will do the prayer and we'll finish with the questions after that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Question and answer after this. So do the inshallah one. And those people are on the, you just wait for us inshallah.